You have more than 30 years of business experience. You must have started when you were like 8 or 9 or something like that. Can you give us some examples that you've seen of poor leadership?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I find when I look at my own challenges and where I have, missteps, and they come into a couple buckets. An example that actually just recently had a scenario, which was around someone on my team. We do a lot of feedback. We say, DocuSign, feedback is a gift. Was that I was using what we call, I've now named the Faux Socratic Method. And, the Socratic Method is I'm asking questions to really understand something and solve a problem. And then when you get faux on it, is you're just asking leading questions. So I already have the decision in my mind.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do, and I'm going to keep talking and talking to you about it until you come
You're not
to
looking
my
for
point
true,
of view. I'm not
honest
actually,
feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for the answer from you. I'm trying to tell you the answer, but I'm doing it in a questioning way. And so that's a good example. A second one that we just had a discussion last week with my e-staff was around a need for consensus. I am actually a person that doesn't like conflict. I like trying to come to consensus. And maybe it's because my kids went to Quaker school, so they had that focus on always coming to consensus. But it's just naturally my personality. Sometimes you need to have conflict. Sometimes part of finding the right answer for an organization is being able to kind of go at it and push hard. And intellectual debate has always been interesting for me, but when there gets to be sort of a little bit of that frustration, a little bit of that heat builds up, I tend to look for compromise and consensus. And we had a great discussion about this. It was like, don't, let us go. Let's keep probing and finding the right answer. So those are examples where I think as a leader, you can make a mistake. You feel you're doing the right thing, but you're not. And so the biggest watchword is always make sure you have people around you that can see your own challenges and foibles and point them out to you. And if you don't have people around you, that are comfortable doing it, if you don't create that trust, you're going to be in a much less well-positioned place.
But going back to what you just said earlier about conflict, how it's good to have conflict sometimes, but as you've also pointed out, sometimes it can go too far. So what's a good way to handle that type of situation?
Well, I think it depends what nature of the conflict is. If you have personality challenges, a lot of times we always say, hey, you two have to figure this out, right? We want you to figure it out. I'm not going to sort of, be mom and dad here. You got to figure it out. But sometimes I think you realize you don't have the chemistry and you have to either realign or redesign an organization. That hasn't been my experience very often. In general, I think it really is about taking a step back and saying, let's get realigned on our values and get realigned on our goals. What are we trying to achieve together? And if you can get people to say, we want to be a productive team and we want to be clear about the goals we're trying to achieve, I think the personality side, by and large, can work themselves out.